Hello and welcome to the ADHD Girls podcast with me, Laura.
And me, Claire.
Today we're going to mainly talk about what is acceptable. Yes.
And tied in with that, we're going to be talking about morals and why the spicy people might have strong morals.
Strong morals. I like that word, yes.
Or particularly sensitive to when people are acting outside of what is perceived as morally acceptable behaviour. So how was ADHD shown up for you this week, Laura?
Well, I find today we are in the sunshine. There's actual clear blue skies. And I don't know, I just feel lighter. I feel my brain can process things and I just feel in a better mood.
Yeah.
Genuinely. It's just like, I know the last few podcasts have been like, oh, it's raining, I can't cope with life. And today it's like, no, Joe, I can cope with life because there's sunshine, there's some vitamin D, I've got some decent radiation going on, and I feel a bit more lighter and hopeful, but I don't know what I'm hopeful for, but I just feel like whatever happens this week, I can cope with it.
Yeah.
So that's my ADHD this week. What about you, Claire?
Oh, I would say exactly the same. I mean, it's made such a change to my outlook. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's a big word.
Yeah, but also yesterday I felt really calm. I was just like, it's sun. I'm just going to sit in the sun. I'm just going to absorb the radiation, like you say, the heat. Well, not really heat. It's still February.
But when the sun is on your face, there is a warmth.
Yeah, and just stuff's happening, change is happening. We're going through transition with flowers are coming out. And I'm just like, it has been a really hard, wet winter. So I am feeling like a change in mood, change in energy.
Energy, yes. I feel like we're coming out of the darkness.
And it makes, we talk a lot about how movement's so important, getting out in nature. And this weather currently is aligning with that goal of being out, basically, and outside and trees.
I think planning as well, it just makes kind of going, oh, what about this or that? Just a bit more hopeful of I might be able to leave the house and have to take umbrellas, coat.
I mean, today we're sat out in this beautiful woodland, ancient woodland, and it's just stunning. There's water. There's birds, there's waterfall down at the bottom of the valley just below her.
There's all the crocuses blooming. There was daffodils blooming. There's some other
rhododendrons coming out quite early, actually. So we're in our happy zone.
Yes, it's nice to see. So this is why today we were just talking about what could we talk about today, and I think we both feel strongly about like morals and how people's behaviour we notice and how we respond, and even if we don't physically respond or say anything, in our mind, it's like, do I say, do I not? So I had a thing where I was in a coffee shop and a child with their parent comes in. The child was about 9 or 10, so they're at an age where, they know what they're doing. They're in control of themselves. And they decided to take their Crocs off and put their feet on the table in the coffee shop. So they were sitting on the sofa bit and, the lower tables, and they just put the feet on there and they were just on their phone. And the parents were just sitting with the child and the mum started like massaging the girl's feet. And look, I'm sitting there going, if you do that at home, I don't care. But my personal thing was, why do it in a coffee shop? And there were people sitting near them who moved because I don't know if that was the reason they moved or not, but I think they were looking over a lot and they just moved to another table. The family, I wouldn't say were loud, but it was just, again, and it brought my thing up of why am I annoyed by this? Because I know people will say, oh, but, we've got stringent hygiene, so that table will be cleaned and everything. And I'm like, but that's still not the point for me. It's just that moral thing of like, well, I wouldn't do that.
There's a few things coming up for me listening to you saying this, and I just have to say it because I'll forget, but one of them is, well, we don't know that it's being cleaned properly, so that's one thing. But the other thing is, my attitude to things is do what you want, right? I'm not judging. I am judging when what you do affects everyone else around you.
Yes.
And that to me is a prime example of where someone's behaviour is impacting on everyone else around you because they want to have their feet off. And it's affecting you and many others by the sounds of it, whoever do it. So that's my kind of attitude towards like, I'm not like policing everything, but if you're doing something that's affecting others, it's unnecessary, that's when I can get really necessary.
Do you need
angry.
To get your shoes off and put your feet on a public, like where you think someone else is going to have food, they're going to have
And because we have these sensory sensitivities, I guess you were thinking, well, this is how I think, germs, that's really grossed me out. I can't now sit and be comfortable in this environment because I am now aware that there are unwashed feet on the surfaces where I put my cup.
Yeah. And I think if I would, let's just say for whatever reason, they don't leave a mess on the table and the people there think, well, we don't need to clean that because no one's used it, because they might not notice this. I could come along and think, oh, I'll just touch the table. And you think, it's just not
acceptable.
Like we were saying, like when you go on public transport and you see people with muddy shoes and things on the seats. And for me, it's again like, but I've come home before where I've had marks on the back of my trousers.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't know what this is. What have I've only sat on a chair on a bus or on a train.
You've sat on someone's seat that they have decided to, because they can't be bothered sitting, probably they'd put their feet on. And there's signs up everywhere on the trains, on the tubes, don't put your feet on the seats.
It's just common sense. This is what
it is common sense.
You don't need signs to do something so basic. And even the signs, I think, don't deter the idiots from, they'll just go, I can do it. It's a sense of entitlement.
It is entitlement.
And it just frustrates me but it's like, again, what is acceptable? Because I think I find neuro people notice these things more. And people, like you say, is it acceptable to behave like that in public, and how it affects the people around of having sweaty little feet on a table where I think there was no reason to do that.
No.
And the fact that the parent is then like, I'll massage your feet. It's just enabling behaviour of when that child grows up and is a nightmare.
And is told, no, don't do that.
They don't understand the word. Then that's when they go, I don't understand the word no. Or they then play up on the word no. Where you think it's
a societal contract, isn't it? We expect, for society to run smoothly, there's certain things that need to be done and certain things people expect. I guess we're very acutely aware of it. And I was talking to you just now about, I was at a park run on Saturday and there was quite a long queue for the ladies' toilets. And it was about sort of 5 to 9, so it's getting close to the start time. And a woman, a couple of people behind me was like going, it's not good enough. I need to get, I'm going to be late. And I was like, but we're all going to be late.
Yeah.
Why are you more special hours? Like, okay. And it was starting to irritate me because I was like, but I felt like I was absorbing all of her anxiety and her entitlement. And she was going, I'm going to have to push past. I'm not a queue jumper, but I need to find out if there's any toilets available. Now, I've got every sympathy if someone's got a genuine urgency to use the toilet.
If you would have said, do you know what, guys, I'm really struggling, you would go, okay, fair enough.
And there was a disabled toilet, so there is that option as well. But it was all like, I don't want to wait, I'm going to be late. And then she walked into the toilet, she was like, I'm just checking that all the toilets are cubicles. And I'm thinking, why would you think that 30 people ahead of you haven't noticed whether the toilet cubicles were in use? It's like, why are you the one person that is going to tell everyone there's a cubicle free? And she kept going on and misering about, I'm going to be late. And I thought, why? Now, what I'm sensing here is she's anxious, as she wants, but I'm also sensing a huge amount of anxiety, of entitlement. And I was saying to you, Laura, that we feel a low level of anxiety all the time about, have I forgotten something? Because we constantly, because of our inability to focus or stay focused or start things, we're always in that constant level of background anxiety. So when I hear a typical say, I need to start, I just get really annoyed because I think, if you knew what we were dealing with all the time,
24/7.
Yeah, this wouldn't even be like, I'm also stood there feeling I might miss the start, but I'm like, well, if I do, I do. So again, it's that thing.
It's out of your control, isn't it?
And it's because of her misering, it's affecting other people in the queue. We're all now getting like,
anxious.
It's like, shut up. And they've just got this massive...
It's building the anxiety, isn't it?
Think,
yeah.
And I read something this week, quite interesting, called moral scrupulosity.
Oh,
I hope I pronounced that right. And it's something that can be found in the neurodivergence. And it's almost like an inability to switch off, noticing when things are morally wrong.
Yeah.
And I know I certainly feel that. And it's like, I have to walk away from things because it's so unbearable to see someone acting in a way that is affecting other people adversely, that I have to walk away because I have to remove myself from the situation because I feel that switch is getting turned on. And it's difficult, obviously, if you're on a train or in a coffee shop, that you paid a drink for. And it's this intense awareness of when things are wrong.
Yeah,
or someone's hurting somebody, and it's tied in with justice sensitivity.
Yes, because it kind of bleeds into that, like, you're behaving in a way that is not acceptable. you're not physically doing anything, but it's still wrong.
It's a threat. It does feel like a threat because it's like, well, hang on, I've picked it because we're great at picking up on patterns and things out of sync or things that are odd. So we can't switch that off.
And it drives back to safety, doesn't it?
Because that's safety. It's how we're wired. So we're really acutely aware of things that are wrong, be they socially wrong or morally wrong or someone's acting out of sorts. And we can't really switch that off. So sometimes I do have to just remove myself. But trying to explain to people that, yeah, you can put headphones on, you can cancel out the noise of, say, that behaviour. But if you can still see that child with the feet all over the table, or you can still see somebody with I've moved train carriages because people are listening to videos on loudspeaker.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Because there's no good coming from sitting there and feeling my blood pressure rising and rising. But yeah, so I guess it's tied in with like we feel things more because we're more acutely aware of the sensitivity changing, pattern recognition. And then this sort of, I don't necessarily want to be monitoring things, but I can't help it.
It's automatic for me.
Yeah.
It's just there. And it's like, it's not something I can switch off. And I think once it gets kind of triggered, it's then, in my mind, I'm like, okay, just ignore it. There's nothing I can do. But then it's still there. It's just that voice of, oh my God, like, when did she last wash her feet? How much do they smell? Are they going to clean that table? Why is the parents not doing anything? Like, it's,
I think it ties in as well, like, we can be people pleasers. We can be working really hard and people might think, oh, they're really productive. They're doing this and they're coping and they're doing everything around the house or socially. And then there comes a point where something breaks and people go, oh, but I thought you were coping fine. And I guess we're masking it because we're so acutely aware of how difficult it is. And this moral scrupulosity is tied in with a fear of moral failure, being anxiety about being seen as a bad person. And that's heightened in us as well. So it might lead to us taking more on than we should.
So mentally you're looking going, well, I'm a good person. I'm working really hard to be a decent, normal person.
Yeah.
And then when you think, well, someone's there just absolutely taking the mickey and not giving any thought or thing to anyone other than themselves. No. And it's almost going out of your way because I'm thinking, well, you don't need to do that.
They're actively creating so much drama and trauma around them because other people are trying to pick up behind them and clear up the mess they're making. And we kind of naturally fit into that role because we've got this intense fear of being seen that because we cover up so much of our problems for fear of failure. Especially
we mask as well. The masking, I think, is like just constant energy.
Because if you haven't known that you are for 40 years, obviously you don't know any different. You've tried to mask it because if you acted out all the time, you wouldn't have anyone speaking to you. So we mask so much that it becomes exhausting, and then people will take advantage of that.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And so, the moral thing is like, well, it's part of me. It's not a good or bad thing.
No.
So it's just accepting it. But I wish I could turn it down.
It is a real problem when it's on high and that the thermostat's broken. It's just stuck on high, isn't it?
When you kind of want to go and you want to relax and you want to chill out, you think that's all I want to focus on. And then when something happens, you're like, oh, and it was for half an hour with it and with table here, with feet there. And it was just like, oh my God.
What were your options in that moment?
Well, I had my drink.
Yeah.
So my thing, well, I've asked for this to not go, but there's nowhere else for me to go. And I thought, I want to sit here with a hot drink and, get a few bits done and relax a bit. And I'm like, well, I don't really have an option because my other option would be, I can't drink my drink, it's boiling hot. I don't really want to say to them, I want to go because, again, I've got nowhere else to go.
You're feeling trapped, I should imagine. It's like...
Yes. Well, I think I've come in for a nice thing and I was asked this feet thing and it wasn't too far from me. And it's like directly in my vision where I think, well, I could have moved seats to not look at it, but then I'd be staring at a wall. So I'm putting myself into, I wouldn't say discomfort, but I'm doing something where I think, well, I don't.
You're choosing the lesser discomfort.
Yeah.
If it's discomfort, whichever option you take, sounds like you couldn't really do a lot in that situation. And do you think typicals, they must notice these things, but I think you said it right. Our sort of sensitivity meter is set at 50, for example, and a typicals might be set at 10. So although they're noticing, it's mildly annoying, but it's not enough to cause, pain.
Yeah, where is your whatever you want? And this could be anxiety, this could be morality, this could be sensitivity, this could be like, how your clothes feel.
Yeah.
And I feel this can be at different levels. Because to some people, it might be, like you were saying with your clothes, that might be at 100, while someone else might be at 5. So for you, it's like, no, I feel this more because that, whatever reason, that's turned up. Or for someone else, I don't even register that because for me, it's not, it's at a 5.
Yeah.
And this is where, for me, I think because I'm doing this, going there, doing this, for me, when I sit down and I kind of think, right, I just want to chill out, I want to zone out, I just want to have this time.
You wanted that time to yourself to just
I don't want to look at someone's feet. And I think as well, because I'm a parent, that was another area for me of I wouldn't let my child behave. When they're very young, I have sympathy of, do you know what, when they're very young, they're a bit annoying because they do stuff, but they're very young and they don't know what they're doing. You know, there's a level of like, come on now. You know, when they're shouting, crying, they're tired, they need a rest or whatever, you think they're very young, they don't know. But at 9 or 10, at that age, they do know. She wasn't, she's sitting quietly on her game, on her phone, whatever, with her feet on the table. She has control of what she's doing.
At an age where, you would expect that a parent might say, we don't do that.
Yeah. And then to actually start massaging the feet on the thing where you're like, not in a, especially I've seen people like clip their nails.
Oh, yes.
On planes. I don't even know how they do it on a plane. You're not allowed anything on there, but like there's pictures.
I was on a flight with somebody doing that, and I was on a flight only to Belfast, and I was just enraged. I couldn't go anywhere. What could I do? Where could I go? And she was so rude. I remember when she got off, because she sat on the inside seat, so the window seat, and she was like mithering me to get out. I was like, where are you going to go? You're going to jump over everyone else that's also trying to get out. Just wait. And I was like, you've irritated me for this flight.
On a plane, as the person by the aisle goes and the seat behind goes. But I've had it before where the person has gone and then there's someone who rushes past you from behind where you're kind of like, and then you're trying to shove in of like, well,
and I was like, if it's that important for you to get off the minute
book the front
plane
seats.
You should have got booked for row A.
Hey, for the front seats, and if they're gone, tough.
Also, what a massive irritation of mine is the plane lands and everyone jumps up and starts getting. I'm like, you can't go for at least another 5 minutes. And then they're mithering, huffing, puffing, can't get off. It's like, you could have just sat there and waited. Yeah. It would make any difference to your time. But now you're stood and you're all awkward and uncomfortable, squashed. And I'm like, sat here, idiots.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Other people cause me anxiety. Yes. Because I feel all of theirs. It's almost like I've got X-ray vision and I can see through and I can see all their anxiety. And it's like, because they're not managing it. And it's just out there and it's in the ether, and then they move on and they've just left it, they've dumped it there, and I feel I'm absorbing it all.
Yes, but they have to say we've got an energy field.
Yeah.
So I feel different people with different size fields, and I do genuinely feel it's a kind of, especially when you're in a confined space, it seeps, it interacts.
Definitely.
So when you're saying, I can feel that person's anxiety, I think our field must be turned again to like 1,000.
I think we're
and we can absorb that, because I genuinely
are quite
feel
sensitive.
Because I feel like with animals and stuff, I'm very much, so cute, and I can absorb the, especially when it's a little puppy or something like that. You're like, so cute. But other people as well, if they're feeling, I don't know, I would say absorb feelings. But it's just, like you say, anxiety or moods or general how someone is. Their general, what's the kind of word?
I'm picking up on something isn't right, or I can pick up very easily that I'm in a room of people and there's somebody over there is struggling with something. I don't know what, but something's not right with them. And then they're exuding some kind of energy that is anxiety. I'm registering it as anxiety from them, but I don't know why it is, but something's not right. Yeah. And that's that pattern recognition of, okay, I've noticed that person, they're behaving in a way that either isn't normal for them or isn't normal for this environment. Something's going on there. Yeah. So that is that hyper-awareness. And, it does keep us safe.
It does.
And I don't want to lose it.
But I think it's on all the time. I wish it could be turned down a lot. And this is where I think it's me trying to learn that. But I feel it's, because it's my energy field, I don't know how to. There'll probably be someone who knows, there's a YouTube video about it. Yeah. There probably is.
But we're early days into diagnosis as well. We've spent 40 years not knowing this. So let's not be too harsh on ourselves. Like, we should be able to do it, because we don't need any more shoulds and any more criticism of ourselves.
You should be.
I've had enough of that.
Yeah, none of that.
So it is a good thing in a lot of ways. I think just being aware of it and going, okay, that's how my brain's wired. Do I necessarily need to have it on high at the moment? No. Can I ignore it? Possibly. So being aware, I think, is the key thing.
Yes, being aware.
Don't blame yourself for it. It's
what it is.
It's what it is.
It's there for a reason.
I always read about gymnasts who have got a really good sense of where they are in space, and that's how they're able to do like, you know, the somersaults and stuff, and they can lose that, and it can be really dangerous because then obviously they can break their neck or something like that.
Yeah, because there's been quite a lot of like, really bad gymnastics accidents where they were just like, they lost that
So
sense.
it's clearly a really good skill to have, this sense of, so in this case, it's a sense of where you are, and it's a spatial awareness.
And how your body's moving.
Yeah.
And where the ground is to where you are. Yeah.
So high sensitivity is not a bad thing.
No,
at all.
It's just sometimes when you're in a coffee shop and someone's, for whatever reason, annoying you, I wish I could just turn it off, and I couldn't. And then I was getting annoyed at myself for being annoyed. And it's that vicious cycle. But yeah, I think it's just noticing that awareness and just going, right, I don't need you right now.
This is why I have to plan things so much to think, is there an escape route? Because I, genuinely, I've got this vision of there's a really big hill, and, they're saying test your brakes before you go down the hill, and there's like an escape gravel track you can go down. And I almost need to, everywhere I go, I have to think, right, is there a way I can get out of this should I need to? And I think, just talking about it now, I realise I've had that all my life. Like, if I go to this event, is there a way of me getting out? Can I make an exit? If I sit in this room, can I get away? Do I sit in a room? Do I sit with my back to the wall so I can see what's going on? Do I sit near the window? It's that hyper awareness of, if things do change and something becomes untenable, can I get out of it? So with the coffee shop, it's a difficult one because that's what happened.
But then with you talking about that, I feel when I go into these places, I struggle with hearing. If I'm in a crowded room with lots of people, and this is why not just because I haven't got any money, but also don't go to restaurants or things like that, because I find 99% of the time, I can't hear the person I want to hear.
Yeah.
I can hear everyone else. And I wouldn't say people are necessarily talking loudly.
No, it's not even necessarily volume. It's
a hive.
It's how many different types of conversation are going on.
Yes. And I feel like I can hear whoever's talking all the way in the other side of the room, because for every reason the acoustics are, my ear is like, I can hear that person.
It's very painful.
Yes, just annoyed. I'm just
brain.
Like, and I'm trying to mouth read. I can't. And I'm like, I don't know and this is just, to me, not an enjoyable.
I think it's twofold, certainly for me. One is the fact that the noise is there and I can't control it, be it, background music, whatever. So often it's the fact that I can't stop this music, or I can't change the channel of the radio. But when it comes to conversations, the thing about restaurants is exactly what you're saying. It's multiple different conversations. I feel like my brain splits into about 10. And every segment of my brain is trying to listen to everyone else's conversation. It's almost like you can be talking to me right in my face, but I'm like, but I need to know what that person has just said. I've just picked up on that. There's a word I've never heard before. What are they talking about? What language are they talking about? Why these two people, they're acting really odd. Do they know each other? Are they on a first date? And it's just unbearable because it's the effect it has. I'm not able to eat. I'm not able to relax enough to eat because I'm in such a heightened state of stress. Because my brain's trying to process everything that I then either overeat or don't eat. And I'm incredibly uncomfortable. And again, I think you're probably the only person who really gets that, because I say to people, like, oh, I don't know what you mean. I just switch off. I don't hear things. It's like, oh my God. The more conversations there are, and you're in the closed room, it's impossible not to, that's the ADHD, getting distracted.
It is. And I remember after COVID, when the social distancing was in, and I remember when restaurants opened and they had to take out half the tables or something. And I went out somewhere, and as soon as you walk in, it's like, oh, there's so much more space. This is instantly nicer, because the crowdedness as well for me was a thing.
Oh, yeah. Tables are so crowded.
And I get it's for profit. I know it's a business and they're trying to get profit. I get that part. But also for a comfort level for a customer of sitting with somebody directly next, like around you who you don't know.
And you're now privy to their private life.
Yeah.
Their family life and whatever.
Fungus toenail being removed by the doctor. And you're like, my soup's going to be so much nicer after this conversation.
Yeah. And then if you factor in another thing, which is like acoustics, and if there's any surfaces, if the surfaces are bouncing sound off them. One thing I find really painful is scraping chairs. I just like, and then people come in and they just drag it across, and I'm like, oh my God, why did you not pick that up?
Yes.
I can't be the only one who's getting physical pain in my ears and my brain from this noise, this scraping. And okay, I understand the need for profit, so tables need to be close together, but they don't need to be having scraping on.
There's things underneath them.
That little bit of felt.
Maybe, I think, thinking back to the coffee shop, I reckon because it was quiet, It wasn't overcrowded. The tables and chairs everything was kind of perfect, apart from the feet on the table. And I think that's why maybe it was so loud
so
to me.
Sometimes noise can be more of a problem when there's nothing else, no other noise going on.
Maybe that was the only bad thing I noticed, and that's why it was so amplified, because everything else was perfect in this coffee shop, apart from the feet. It was quiet, it was nice.
I've had someone say to me, "Oh, do you just need a quiet environment?" I'm like, no, I don't. Sometimes I really want noise and I really want background, and it's not about the level of noise, it's about the interaction of the noise.
And what you're going there for. So if I'm going to speak to someone, I'm like, well, I don't want noise because I want to talk to that person.
Yeah.
But if I'm going for I just want to kind of be out and I'm by myself, I don't mind noise.
People watching, it's fine,
So it's the reason you're going as well, the intent for behind the...
This is why I would always rather have a coffee outside.
Yes.
Or a drink or a meal.
This
is why it's so important that we can go outside. So we are coming to the end of this week's podcast, and as usual, we are rounding off with the No Shame Zone, which is where we look at things in the past that might have caused us shame, and we look at it in a kinder way, and we kinder to ourselves, we think, okay, how's another way to interpret that? And I think mine is, we talked sort of about anxiety this session in this episode, and I think, being told, for me, it's quite complicated and quite entrenched, but being told throughout my life, oh, what you're anxious for, or why what's the anxiety, and everyone feels anxious, but you just have to do it. You just do it, it's fine. And I think it's only till recently I've realised that what a neurotypical thinks is anxiety is not what a neurodivergent thinks as anxiety. I don't speak for myself, obviously, but I don't have anxiety around, oh, this car's going to crash, or, there's an asteroid going to hit the Earth today. But my anxiety it's like a background thing. It's there all the time, and it's around not knowing if I'm in the right place, because my ADHD has got me distracted and unfocused. I'm not acting the right way. I have upset someone, I don't know why. I feel they're upset with me, or I feel they should be acting to me a certain way. I'm not quite sure what's happened, or it could be I've done something wrong. So the anxiety, and then now I realise it's come from masking and trying to achieve, despite having these issues, these problems that we have with ADHD. And I think, it's that I never feel quite I'm in the right place or the right time. And a lot of it is around, getting to places, being in the right place. Where should I be? And I think so much of your life, you're supposed to be in the right place, the right time. And it's such a struggle. And it's a really hard one to explain, I think. I don't know if I am explaining it very well, but it's, am I where I should be? Am I acting as I should be? Will people think I'm really odd? And I think that's from masking.
Yeah. I think because you mask so much, it's almost like, who am I?
Yeah. I don't want to mask. I want to be my true self at all times. We all have to mask to some extent, obviously. But it's that heavy masking that we've done for a long time, and only recently realised, no, this is what you've been doing. So, I think it would be, it's quite flippant to say, oh, just get on with it, just do it. What do you feel anxious about? Just ignore things. It's like, for reasons that we've spoken about this episode, we are very aware of everything.
Yes, which is it is how it is, but it's also a curse.
Yeah. And what about you?
So for me, it's as you're aging, you change. And it's a natural thing. But I feel all my life, I kind of always, as a female, you're kind of conscious of, oh, I hope I look nice. And sometimes in the past, I've kind of got, oh, I want to look nice for someone else. But other times it's, I want to look nice for myself. And I think as I've got older, it's just being gentle to yourself on, it would be like when I was younger and someone walked past and just looked at me, I'd be going, oh my God, is my makeup weird? Do I look okay? Are they do I look weird? Do I look ugly? Do I look horrible?
Yeah.
And as I'm older, it's learning to turn that voice down.
Yeah.
And just going, you're not helpful. I don't need you. It's very self-critical.
And how is that different for you as somebody with ADHD as opposed to somebody who isn't ADHD?
I think, like we've said, we just feel things more. We go deeper into things. So if somebody walked past, someone might go, oh, do I look okay? And then just go, oh, look, I don't care. Well, for me, I'll literally be like, oh God, why do they look at me? What do they, it will just go so much deeper and so much more. And it will just be that kind of cog going round and round. Well,
you feel like you're in the wrong if you're being looked at? Or...
Well, I don't know. I just feel
something's
like
off.
I don't want someone to look at me and go, oh God, look at that. And I don't know why, because I think it doesn't matter what that person thinks of you. You don't know them. And if they do think like that, you don't want to know them. But it's just learning to turn that voice down and being more accepting of, well, you look how you look. And I've gone past people, looked at them, but not really registered. So it's learning that thing, well, they probably just looked at you because you're someone walking past you. They're probably not even thinking about you while you're still kind of overthinking something that you shouldn't be. And it doesn't bring you anything.
Yeah.
There's no good, so even if they think you're ugly, so what? It doesn't matter. You're living in this, it doesn't matter. But in my mind, I would always be like, oh, I just want to look nice.
Yeah.
And I'm learning to turn the negative voice down and just be like, okay, well, not every day you're going to look or feel great. So what?
Yeah.
And just being more like...
Well, it's that extremes, isn't it? Some days I can feel absolutely amazing, God mode. I look amazing. I feel amazing. Yeah. My brain is firing everything. I've got the key to the universe. Yeah. And the next day,
I feel like I look like a slug.
I feel like a troll under a bridge. It's just come out from hibernation.
I don't want to...
Yeah, so it's those extremes, isn't it?
It is. And I feel that's why before I used to kind of step through the door fully of each extreme. Well, now it's like I'm not going to go through the bad door because it doesn't bring me any joy.
No.
And it's no use to me of, okay, today I look crap, so what? Just go today. And I'm more accepting of just going, just going to have a bad day. I just don't like how I look today, and not be tied up on it too much.
So it's extremes, isn't it? And
yes.
We feel them very deeply.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.